All right. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay at home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to every single clean hearted, good hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. I'm trying to adjust these lights. I mean, we're doing good as far as the light thing goes, but I would like for it to be a little bit brighter in here and not gonna work. So anyhow, we're gonna work with what we have this morning. It's all good. Big up and thank you for being here this morning. Listen up. I don't know if I left the chat room open. I'll know in a minute. Once me say other names start coming in that are not green. I don't think I did though. I hope I didn't. Here we are this morning, people. So much to talk about. Somebody said me go do some research yesterday, see? On this whole Paula Llewellyn thing, yeah? And a lawsuit that is out there which involves Isat Buchanan. Well, I find the information. I find it Snaky Paula. Snake. I wonder if she's gonna sue me for calling her Snaky Paula. People are allowed to have their opinions. Jeez. Everybody are run for sue these days, but people are allowed to have their opinions about you. People certainly have them opinions about me, and they say it all the time. I can't sue everybody. So half of it, me just don't look pan. Not true? Yeah. I think Paula Llewellyn is moving real snaky. Remember, I know this is not the first case that I've ran down for you guys, My eyes got trained to Paula Llewellyn, like zeroed in on her around the Kentucky kid situation, right? And then there were others after that just made me say, but the prominent one that stood out for me was the Kentucky kid situation. I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with the Kentucky kid situation. We say Donna Lee Donaldson, keep her name alive and say her name and hope there's justice for her family. But nobody knows say Kentucky kid name. You know what I mean? And he's one of those people too that, man, Kentucky kid. Paul Llewellyn did that case, dirty boy. And then, of course, there were others. And then, boom, came another big one, Kajil Mays. For those of you who don't know, these are stuff that you could go look up. You know what I mean? Kentucky Kid, for you, those who don't know, Kentucky Kid was a DJ. Kentucky Kid was doing his thing. And, him traveled to other parts of the world and does his thing. While traveling out, he met his wife, who he ended up marrying. She moved back to Jamaica with him. She was, I believe, Japanese, and moved back to Jamaica with him. And him that he doing thing. He's making his money. He's living his life. He has a nice place to live, nice car to drive, and these things. And a police officer lick him car. And it was said that the police officer that hit his car was under the influence. Drinking on the job, driving government vehicle, slap the man car, mash it up. All right. There so happened to be a news media personality across the street with his equipment, and him run over there and started videoing. The thing got out of hand. All right. They wanted Kentucky Kid to pay for the police car, and Kentucky Kid is saying, no, the man mash up my car, and him drunk. Him mash up my car, and him drunk. How am I going to pay for this? They wanted him to sign papers saying he was at fault. He said, I'm not signing the paper. I wasn't even driving. My car parked up. I wasn't even driving my car. This man come out of control, slap my car, mash it up. All right. From there on, police never stopped visit that man's house. Right? They trail him every which part he went. They visited his house often, more than often. They try to switch the narrative later about he was involved in other things. They don't have no proof of any of that. The youth was a righteous youth, and the youth was a music youth and a DJ. See? Somebody told him, he said Paula Llewellyn told him, well, put up some cameras in your place then and see. And because he kept complaining, these officers are visiting my house on a regular basis. The same one them were in, and why? And she was like, well, we don't have no proof of that. You're just saying that. So somebody said, put up some cameras. The man put up cameras, and lo and behold, there they were in uniform with guns in the man place. Face can be seen and everything. The man's wife get beat up and she was pregnant. You know, she get beat up, kicking her back, thump up. Then beat him till he was doo-doo in blood. And he had all this on camera. He had all the faces of all the individuals involved. He turned all that stuff over to DPP. Paula Llewellyn them. The youth say, them not doing nothing about it. I feel them are going to kill me. And I feel so them going to get away with it too. But if anything happened to me, just know, say, see it here. This is the truth, right? Him ball out to all of us, please, raise a stink about this. Say something. Them time them not start YouTube yet. Raise a stink about this. Somebody say something, please. Nobody paid attention to him. So we have said, say Donald Lee Donaldson name, when say Kentucky kid name too. His mother cried, sent it to his mom. You know, she was in fear for her son. Next thing you know, they came into the man's house and kill him. Well, them never kill him in their house, did they? Well, wherever they killed him, they killed him. See him dead. They murdered him. And he knew it was coming. And it was having to do with that same case. So Paula now, when they went on trial, Paula Llewellyn basically threw up her hands. And she says, nah, I have no further. It's something that they say which is pretty common for her when she wants somebody to get off. I'm not an attorney, but if I remember the words correctly, I'll give it to you. It's something where the prosecution will say, is like, I have nothing further, basically, right? And we're like, you have nothing further? Where's the videotape? You have the videotape that have all their faces on it. What you mean you have nothing further? Everybody get off scotch-free. That close wherever Kentucky kid's mom is today. Woman, I remember seeing you on camera crying and talking about your son and all that. You're strong. Yeah, you're strong. That's a heavy burden to bear. And you know and I know they murder your son. And your son knew they were going to murder him. And they did. So from that case there, Missy Paula Llewellyn as a different person. And again, there were others after that made me kept saying, how many times is this woman going to be able to do stuff like this? She's crooked. She's crooked. I'm serious. Somebody put her in there to do, or I don't know. I don't know if somebody get to her, like if your links are right and they can get to her, them can get them case. Then came the Kajil Mays case. And I don't have to repeat that stuff all over to you again. But when I think Kajil was 19, he was or 18 or 17, something like that. But he did a high school student, see? And Kajil, the X6 case, remember the X6 case? Again, Paula Llewellyn threw her hands up and said, we have nothing further. I want to ask that woman to her face so bad, Miss Lady, you are well learned when it comes to the law. You knew damn well that man that you put on the stand to try for murder in that trial with Kajil Mays, you knew damn well he was going to walk. You waste taxpayers' money and you went through with a trial for him, knowing he was going to beat that trial. I would have known that. Why? Because he already had proof, a plane ticket that said, I boarded the flight to Jamaica after all this happened and me just come through the airport. You can go check your videos. See him there walking through the airport. See him there in Miami or wherever I'm bored, walking through the airport. All that was going on in Jamaica, I wasn't there. So how are you going to try him for murder? Yes, it's his vehicle, yes. But he wasn't the one that was driving it, obviously. So why did you put him on the stand? Because you didn't want to get to who was actually really driving the vehicle. So you did him a favor. Him said, me big, I'm tough, me will take it. So put me up there. We're going to beat the case anyway. And you knew that. You're a wicked person. You're a wicked person. So no justice came for Kajil Mays. Say his name too. And then them try to turn him mother into some politician after. Give her some seat to something or some plaque and some admiration, and after them kill off the woman's son. Yo, these people, man, them dangerous. You hear me? I tell you, them dangerous, and they're put in place to keep things going a certain way and to defend a certain people, not everybody. So I see her. This is my opinion. I don't know if you can sue me for my opinion, but it's my opinion. Just like she could be our house right now. I say, yes, SouFLo, you know, he's a piece of shit. That's my opinion. Well, that's your opinion, and I can't sue you for it. This is my opinion of that lady. Big snake. Big snake. And when she said justice, she don't mean justice for everybody, and she don't mean equal justice either. That's what I've learned. So I'm over here. Somebody saying yesterday, you know, in the comment section, and the person linked me back on my regular email. Thanks to that person. I don't even remember your name right now, but you sent me on it. This is why I love my audience. Man, I love y'all. Thank you so much. Because I'm just one person. I'm just one person. But the person that put me on to this and said, SouFLo, there's a case going on with Isat Buchanan. So you remember yesterday when I was like, I don't want to hear anything about his past. Everybody can change, right? As far as if half of us, if them bring up half of us was 20 years ago, for anybody who in them 40s now, you would be ashamed of some of the stuff that you did. And you don't want to be known for what you did back then, how many years, over a decade and change ago. So me don't want to hear about that. I thought it was an attempt to dirty up him image or name a little bit. So I was quick to defend, like, just leave that outside, because that has nothing to do with what we're discussing. No, the person hit me back later and said, SouFLo, that's not what I was talking about. I thought about one case was out there. I said, why you didn't just say that on Morning Thought so everybody can see it? All right. Since he didn't, that's okay. Me go look it up. Watch this. So if you look at my icon this morning, you'll see Chief Currie on it. Chief Currie is the chief of the Maroons, right? We've been talking a long time. Many times we've had this discussion about Maroon land being wanted and the government trying to figure out how to move those people off that land so they can have access to the land to do their thing. They want to do with it. They want drill. They want search. They want artifacts. They want lithium. They want gold. They want oil. They want bauxite. They want whatever they could find in there, right? And the people are standing in the way. All right. Shout out to Chief Currie. I go and I look, and lo and behold, Akampong Maroons file a lawsuit against the government regarding cockpit country. I said, what a backside. How come I never know about this? And I've been paying attention. But again, I'm one person. I can only pay attention to so many things at a time. See it? Akampong Maroons file lawsuit against Jamaican government regarding cockpit country. Now hear this. This was printed by Radio Jamaica News Online. That's the first fire. The first gunshot go off. Here's the second one now. This come in the Gleaner follow-up that says the government wants the Maroon lawsuit to be thrown out. Well, of course they do. Of course they do. I looked and I also saw that people like Protege, of course, Protege, reggae singer Protege, with Diggy Indignation Ban. There's a host of names. Buju Banton, of course, has been very vocal about it. Quite a few of them are on board and have been out in public supporting Chief Currie with this. Even, I believe, I just say Stefan done up there. I don't know if she's a part of. But anyways, he's getting good support from people that are, you would say, we call celebrities then. Yeah? All right. So I'm looking at this. Let me run through this for you really quickly so you understand the gist of what is going on. Akampong Maroons file a lawsuit against Jamaican government regarding cockpit country. The Akampong Maroons have filed a lawsuit to end their long-standing discussion with the government. Remember, no discussion ain't really a gone, and that's one of the things Chief Currie was saying, wasn't no real rapport taking place. But to end their long-standing discussion with the Jamaican government, or the government of Jamaica, about the ownership of lands in the cockpit country, the Supreme Court is to hold the first hearing on July 12th. That's of 2022. Right? We're now in October. In the claim which was filed last month against the government, the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, Chief of the Accompong Maroons, Richard Currie, says among the declarations being sought is the Maroons' right to ancestral lands in the cockpit country under the 1738 Maroon Treaty. Chief Currie says that the fixed date claim filed on May 6th outlines redress for a declaration of the title under the Registration of Titles Act without prejudice to Maroon sovereignty. The lawsuit also outlines violations of constitutionally protected rights to private property, the observation of political doctrines, as well as trespass on the Maroon estate, which Chief Currie says has been unlawfully permitted by the government of Jamaica to be mined for bauxite and other raw materials, including lithium. It's all in the lawsuit. According to the Accompong chief, the fixed date claim has been precisely constructed to allow the court, for the first time in history, to construe exactly how the 1738 Maroon Treaty remains in force under the 1962 Order in Council Constitution of Jamaica. All right. He, however, claims that there has been an act of intimidation, including Chief Currie of the Maroons says Maroons are not seeking a declaration on sovereignty. He, however, claims that there has been acts of intimidation, including threats against his life, and he says that the intimidation and the failure of the government to solve or resolve the land issue through discussions are among the reasons for the lawsuit. The same way how Paula Llewellyn or DPP, their office was holding on to the phone for the Vybz Kartel something forever and just stretch out and draw out the case, and all of us are like, when is this going to come to an end? There's nothing professional about. Again, y'all got to understand me. How I think sometimes. Like, I'm from the military per se. Somebody are gonna be funny. You're not from the military. You're from Jamaica. Or you're from your mother. Anyway, yeah. But I'm military minded in a sense that when things are being handled professionally, there's a time limit to it. And there are people who should be held responsible if things are not finished up within a certain amount of time and within certain guidelines. This is called professionalism. There's absolutely no professionalism here. It's like, all right, put it on my desk. Me get to it when me feel like it. And every time you ask them, it's like, well, I'm busy, you know, me have about 1 million things to do. No, there's a deadline on this. Get to this. Fix this by the deadline. Not true? Jamaica seems to have a problem with that. With deadlines and with who is responsible for what. And then holding them responsible when they don't meet their deadlines. Holding them responsible when they don't finish up what they were supposed to finish up in a professional manner within those given guidelines, established guidelines. In the Army, we call that SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. You don't do it any other way. Shit's SOP. That's how you do it. You break that SOP, and that's your ass. And that's it. Once you've been trained to do a job, there's no more excuses as to why I was late for it, why I couldn't get it done on time. What them don't want to hear, no, I was busy. They don't want to hear I had 10,000 things to do. They don't even want to hear my mama died. Because you got to find a way to get it done. Then go tend to your mama dying. Them, they operate like there's no professionalism there. And, you know, this seems to be the norm in Jamaica. It's kind of like in our culture. And sometimes me laugh about it too. Because I told y'all a story before. I'm in Jamaica and I told my cousin, yo, I need to go to so-and-so by this time. I'm ready already. 15 minutes before his arrival, I'm already standing outside waiting. See? The man show up about an hour and a half after the time he was supposed to show up. I'm a vex when him come. I'm not vexing him. I'm a vex with a B when him reach. You know, and he must say to me, say, boy, he's like, cuz, Jamaica, this, you know, like, relax, man. You have the American thing that in your way when you just go and this have to do on time, yes, and that has to be done at that time. I said, yes, man, because that's how people, him said Jamaica don't run so. And I bet to the place where we go when time we reach, them not even open yet. You know, so it's like it's accepted within the culture to be lackadaisical, to show up when you feel like showing up, to flake off the work and the responsibility, and if it get done, it get done. Me get to it, man. Eventually, me get to it. That kind of stuff. So with that said, I found this lawsuit and I was like, I wonder if, but not tell no lie. I put an IG post up yesterday, and you know, IG show you who liked the post, who just, you know, just a, it's not a thumbs up, but a heart. So them, yeah, them like the thing. And I saw Chief Currie, and the person never really tell me yet. I said, I wonder if there's a lawsuit out there that has to do with Chief Currie, and Isat Buchanan is a part of it. Cause Miss Snake Lady there come for Isat Buchanan, and she's representing Vybz Kartel. And I remember somebody saying, SouFLo, this is deeper than Vybz Kartel. This probably don't even have nothing to do with Vybz Kartel. Yeah, them want to sink him and keep him where he's at. But there's something bigger going on. There's a lawsuit out there. And I was thinking, you trying to talk stuff about the man? No. Leave that alone. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, there's this lawsuit right here. Watch this. Government lawyers, this is the one where they want the lawsuit thrown out. Government lawyers have filed an application to strike out the lawsuit being pursued by the Maroon chief, Richard Currie, who is seeking an order from the Supreme Court declaring that ownership of the lands of the cockpit country be given to the Maroons. The application has been set to be heard on September 30th. We're in October 4th. I wonder if it was heard. September 30th, when the court will also hear an injunction, and look at the timing of which Paula Llewellyn went in after Isat Buchanan, when the decision came back. Supposed to be heard on September 30th, when the court will also hear an injunction being sought by the Maroons on all current mining activities, roadworks, new leases, and permits that are being issued to companies, to minerals within Maroon lands. So them still do them thing. They're moving forward with this. The strikeout claim was filed on July 8th after Currie, the chief of the Accompong Maroons in St. Elizabeth, filed a claim against the government and the Jamaican National Heritage Trust, the JNHT, on May 6th. Currie is listed as on the claim as the first claimant, while the full Maroon Council of the Sovereign State of Accompong is the second claimant. The Attorney General and the JNHT are listed as the first and second defendants. All right. Y'all can go read this up for yourself, right? Now skip through some of this and all of this, right? That's all. They're seeking damages for trespass as a result of, we read through all that before. Come down here, so now. He also made an order for both the injunctions and the application to be heard on the same date by the same judge, and the strikeout application should be heard first. Both are equally important because if the claim is going to be struck out, why would the court be granting injunctive relief? He asked. Furthermore, Anderson said, granting injunctive relief and then immediately thereafter hearing an application to strike out the claim, which blah, blah, blah. All this legal law jargon, we can get right past that. All right, we're not attorneys. We can go into it if you want to, but I want you to go read this yourself. Among the orders was made that the claimants are permitted to rely on the file further submission and shall do so if they are contesting the defendant's application for court orders, but the filing should be done and served by August 12. We're in October. Attorney at law Charles Ganga Sai leads the Maroons defense team, which includes Isat Buchanan and Alessandra LaBeach. So yes, Isat Buchanan, right there. Right. Remember, I know, I'm not the kind of person to come out here and say, yes, Isat Buchanan, I defend someone. I mean, never see it nowhere, and I'm trying to get him to answer me on IG or something, and them now answer. I'm not just going to come out and throw. I have to go find it. So thanks for whoever led me to it. He's obviously a part of this lawsuit. There's a lawsuit that's out on behalf of the Maroons against the Jamaican government, and Isat Buchanan is one of the attorneys that are defending the Maroon chief and the Maroons in that lawsuit. So, and not to mention, Vybz Kartel has publicly given his support to Chief Currie. There was a story they ran once that said that Vybz Kartel is actually related to Chief Currie by blood. I don't know how deep that story goes. I haven't looked into it. I'm just saying there was a story published like that. I'll go look into that later and then give you the was it real or is it whatever. But other that we are talking about the fact that there is a lawsuit out. The Maroons are suing the Jamaican government. Isat Buchanan is one of the attorneys that are defending. Hence, now I see what others were saying about Paula Llewellyn and why she's coming at Isat Buchanan the way that she is. Because like I said before, I've witnessed many attorneys say stuff that I even thought, damn, that was unprofessional. Or, oh shit, they must be fighting behind the scenes. She never took any of them to the GLC, the governing board. She let it roll off like water off a duck's back. So why is she gunning for this one attorney so much? There you go. And remember, Paula has been in that position since 2008. She's the first woman to have ever held that position, and she's been in there since 2008. We're in 2022. See? I don't know how appointment to that position goes. I don't know if it's every 4 years them do a vote, or is it a position where once you get in, you're in it for life until you decide you want to come out, which could be a pretty dangerous thing considering what that position entails. You know what I'm saying? Department of Public Prosecution. When you give absolute power to certain people, problems. This is why people in the US like their guns, especially in those lower states. Them now give up them gun because them say any day for them government feel like said them have absolute power and forget say the people put them in power. They might try to round us up and put us in concentration camps. They might try to do what them please with we. And we might have to defend ourselves. So that's why you hear them say, what you said about guns? Yeah, mine? Come get it. Come get it. I dare you. They're not giving it up. And that's the reason when you put certain people in absolute power, there's a saying out there about absolute power breeds absolute corruption or something like that. You know? Oh, yes, as clear as day. Unbelievable SouFLoTV. Her bite don't stand out for nothing. Jano. All right, so check this out now. GLC says that insufficient supporting evidence in attorney's Isat Buchanan professional misconduct case. The GLC says insufficient supporting evidence in attorney Isat Buchanan's professional misconduct case. Remember, I know yesterday we talked about Isat Buchanan being found guilty of professional misconduct in a case that Paula Llewellyn brought against him. I gave you the part of the you know, when you have governing law books or governing books that govern, have rules that govern the profession. So they would cite from clause A, line B, C, and D, he's in violation of these right here. I told you exactly what she said he did, what she claimed was a violation. I told y'all, I looked at it, I can't see the violation in it, so this have to be deeper than just that. All right. The general legal, hold on, Christine Simpson says absolute power corrupts and power corrupts absolutely. There you go, Christine Simpson. Thank you. I know it was something like that. See? Watch this. The General Legal Counsel, GLC, has found that the Director of Public Prosecution, remember, I know the GLC is who she took him to. The GLC is the governing body that governs law. They are the ones who you go before and they will tell you, as an attorney, you have violated so and so, right? All right. The General Legal Counsel, or the GLC, has found that the Director of Public Prosecution, Paula Llewellyn, failed to bring supporting evidence to clarify in what way 3 of the canons of the legal profession complained of were actually breached. It's like she want to get the man so bad she just go complain about anything and everything. Unstoppable Josh, big up yourself. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. The General Legal Counsel, or the GLC, found that the Director of Public Prosecution, Paula Llewellyn, failed to bring supporting evidence to clarify in what way 3 of the canons of the legal professions complained of were breached. Failed. This was contained in the ruling on the matter that was brought before the GLC by the DPP, in which it found Attorney-at-Law Isat Buchanan guilty of professional misconduct for comments he made in November of 2020. It's a 2022, you know. Comments the man made in 2020 to use it against him and decisions coming out in 2022. The body governing the legal profession handed down its 33-page ruling on Saturday, and there's a speech here from Robbie and Williams. But let me read through it, because this is exactly what she said. The GLC says that it sought the clarification, but when that was received, it only sought to introduce canons outside of the original complaint and failed to state how the canons were breached. In other words, then, she went in there with insufficient evidence of how things were, how he was wrong. But she convinced herself that she have a case, right? This, it says, is contrary to the instructions of the panel. The General Legal Counsel says it had no option but to dismiss them. It says in relation, another canon, though, Miss Llewelyn did not establish beyond a reasonable doubt that the statement of the respondent was false. She did not. We know what statement was false, that she said was false, that his client's constitutional right was breached. I'm no lawyer, but me look it up myself. In the Jamaican law journals, books, whatever you want to call them, the Constitution states, there's a part that states, if you are being tried for a crime, that whatever evidence prosecution has against you, your attorney or your defending or your defense team should also be privy to this. If they're going to use this phone against me, my lawyer them need to have this phone, access to this phone also. That way, they can look at it, them can say, well, the phone they block. So you have to tell a client, say, yo, so your client don't go in the courtroom and say the opposite of. You have to mount a defense, right? So they're able to mount a defense. So when Isat Buchanan said, based on the fact how they handled it, that's a breach of his client's constitutional rights. She said that was a false statement made publicly. It says in relation, another canon, Miss Llewellyn did not establish beyond a reasonable doubt that the statement of the respondent was false. The GLC found that there was an inexcusable refusal by the complainant to respond to inquiries of the respondent's attorney. And this essentially made the statement true. All right. So the man said, this is a breach of my client's constitutional rights. The GLC found that there was an inexcusable refusal by the complainant, which is Paula Llewellyn, to respond to the inquiries of the respondent's attorney, which is Isat Buchanan, Vybz Kartel's attorney. And this essentially makes the statement true. So you were violating his constitutional rights. Now, them still find him guilty of something, you know. They still did. But I want to know if the same GLC would not punish her or sanction her the same way when they themselves saw that this was an inexcusable refusal by the complainant to respond to inquiries of the respondent's attorney. And this essentially made the statement, my client's rights being violated, his constitutional rights made it true. She's out here purposely violating people's constitutional rights, right? And then taking the lawyers who defend these people who she violate them rights to GLC, a governing body that governs their profession, accusing them of things when she herself is guilty of stuff. So is the GLC going to say now, you need to be sanctioned too? Since you're shedding light on this, we see something here where you need to be sanctioned too. It's only fair, right? Right. That canon was also dismissed. Different canons. The General Legal Counsel further opined that part of Canon 1B, in light of reference, Canadian cases, and the constitutional right to freedom of expression, were not of the required standard to be able to say that they were not made in good faith. They had no factual foundation and they were not reasonable. It concluded, however, that the issue in relation to the words being uttered while the matter was before the UK Privy Council is sub judice and led to the conclusion that Canon 1B was breached by the comments being in breach of the sub judice rule. I don't know what them sub judice rules are. I guess you're not supposed to speak about it or address it publicly as an attorney because the case is before the UK Privy Council. So they're supposed to just leave it at that. But because he said it out loud, whatever he said then violated that. So based on that, Isat Buchanan, who is one of the attorneys representing imprisoned dancehall artist Vybz Kartel, had argued that the handling of the matter by the DPP office breached his client's constitutional right. And of course, the DPP shot back that Isat is mischaracterizing the events. Anyhow, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. So he's ruffling her feathers and she's pissed off. Absolutely. Karen noticed. Absolutely. And you know, it gave me a new respect for him because there, you know, the hierarchy of how things run in Jamaica, right? And how things are set up. I'm big, bad, mighty. I go for say big, bad, mighty bounty killer. I'm big, bad, mighty this, and I've been in my position since this time. You're a young, you just got here. You're a fresh attorney. You're fresh out of school. We're going to show you how this run. You don't have no authority over me. Talk to me wrong and say. It's kind of like being in the military and you get in there and you're a buck private and you know, team leader, maybe a PFC, I'm going to try pull rank on you. And then, you know, higher up will try to pull rank on you too. You have staff sergeant, corporal, everybody will pull rank by you because your rank so low. You just came in kind of thing. I think that's what she was doing, kind of like trying to pull rank, you know, and using these resources that she has to try to manipulate things. But it never worked. It never really worked because what she wanted him to be found guilty of, he wasn't found guilty of. The only thing they found that he breached was somewhere in the canons that says if it's before the Privy Council, you shouldn't say something to the public about that. That's it. Not what he said about her and her office. She's purposely violating this man's constitutional rights. Somebody was brave enough. So shout out to Isat Buchanan. Somebody was brave enough to stand up and say it. Most young attorneys, they're not brave enough to go against the gatekeepers. They're not brave enough to go against the big wigs. You know, them stay quiet. Them not say much. They lose their cases at your expense because that's how these people manipulate the system. Who them want to be guilty will be guilty, regardless of whatever evidence you want to come with. Who them want to be innocent will walk, regardless of what evidence is there to show that they shouldn't be walking. But that's how they do it. Human resources equal monster resources. Not wishing bad, but Paula karma will get her. Hear me now, pussy galore, the woman there? The woman there is something else. I don't know if somebody put her in that position and tell her, said that's how she need. Because you know, we've said this before, all right? It's just like a police officer grow up in Jamaica, and from a little boy, yeah, run around with a little board gun, and yeah, say one day me I be one police, you know, daddy, I shoot, I'm gonna shoot up bad man, I'm gonna clean up the country, I'm gonna make the place nice again, and them thing that, and then you grow, and you grow, and you learn, and by the time you reach into the force, is a totally different thing from where you did envision. You realize that you're powerless. The only thing you can do when you get in here is either keep your mouth shut and act like you know it's corruption, or join the corruption and benefit from it too. Those are your two options, right? And you're like, damn, this how it run? This is disheartening. This is disheartening. It's just like a lot of people who go to school right now, especially people in the medical field. Shout out to y'all. I want to be a nurse and I want to save everybody and I want to do this, therapist, everybody. I want to do this, that, and the other, until you finish and you go into an institution. You start work at a hospital or a long-term care facility or one of those places, and you start seeing all the red tape them way off it cut through. I'll never forget the girl. I keep talking about her. Young black girl. Well, she was doing too much. Someone out there needs to stop doing too much. She was doing too much, you know, drinking, partying, smoking, probably I do some drugs with it and all this. All these chemicals bust up in our brain, in our head. She ended up having a drug-induced stroke, right? And she came in with aphasia. Aphasia, you have the aphasia affected her in a way. Remember on the laugh when we said, I put the pie, tip, and that's all she could say. And in her mind, she thinks she sound like me, how me sound right now, giving words, when she's not. So it frustrates everybody that she tries to talk to, right? I deal with stuff like this in OT. So me not being able to give her any kind of help because paperwork says she doesn't qualify for any kind of help, it was very disheartening. It was like, damn, so why is she in the facility then if you can't even help her? Well, by law, we're supposed to keep her here for a week or two, and then we could pretty much roll her out the door onto the streets, is what I was told. And you know that part of you when you go to school and you was like, I'm gonna be that good Samaritan and I'm gonna study hard and everything I learn I'm gonna apply. And yeah, until you get there, and it's like, yep, she doesn't qualify. She doesn't have this kind of insurance. She's not. Yeah. Matter of fact, don't even go down that hallway. Just like, damn. That's what she tells. Don't laugh. Cause it can happen to anyone away. I pay tippy tie. I put the tippy tie. Pie. I saw she did that talk. And I'm like, hey, how old are you? Because you seem really young. You look like in this facility, right? Majority of the people in there was older. Yeah, one young nurse there, and everybody else was like way older. So I was like, man, it struck a chord with me because she looked like she around my age group. So I was, and then everybody else is geriatric population, right? Elderly. So I'm like, may I try to strike up a conversation with her? Remember, I know she's not on treatment, so I wouldn't know unless she was on treatment, then I could pull her file, right? So I wouldn't know. So I said, who's this young black girl that they just brought in and what's wrong with her? So I sneak away and get a little quick 5 minutes. Let me go talk to her and see, you know, maybe me can help her or something, tell her something to help herself or tell her family something to help her or something. I may try to have a conversation with her. Oh, you have Broca's aphasia and you have Wernicke's aphasia. She had one of them. So she can understand everything you say, taking in information. She can't give out information properly. See? So that's why her speech is and she swear. So when she a tippy tie me and a pitty pie me and me I said to her, say, I can't understand. Them time that me just reaching at the field to, you know, so it's the first time I was actually seeing this. I was so excited to just be in the field and experience these things. So I read about, you know, when you read something in a school and then, you know, your professor them might a little act up off. It's different from when you actually go out there and see it, just like emergency medical technicians. When them ready to go run them ambulance, when them I go through school, That's very different from when them meet them first gunshot victim with him face split wide open by gunshot and he's still breathing. Very different, right? You're not working with a dummy no more. You're working with a real person. So I was all excited. I'm the one saying, I was like, this is textbook aphasia. I try to talk to her, she get frustrated till she start box with stuff like she want to fight me. And I was like, okay, I'm out. I left our room because I shouldn't be seeing her in the first place. So if I had done anything or anything had happened in there, she tried to box off of me and drop out her own chair, I would have been in trouble. She's not on my treatment plan, not on my treatment list. She's not on therapy schedule. So why were you seeing her? That's how and when you get into that world and you see all the red tape, cut that you got to go through, it kind of disheartens you. Like, damn, I really love doing this, but this is what we got to deal with. So I don't know if Paula Llewellyn did have good intentions before, and then when she reached in there, a whole heap of red tape and somebody draw her by a collar and say, listen, we're giving you this position. We're exalting you. It's a woman. You're the first woman to ever hold this position. But here is how the thing needs to run. You say anybody with a big name, big wig, so and so, you do your best to make sure. Listen, no, I hear what you're saying, but no. But I'm here for justice and I have to, and I believe that everybody, no, stop. That's not how it works. We're going to tell you how it works. You decide from here on out if you want to usher you back out of the position or you want to keep it. Most of them do so much work to reach where they're going that by the time they get there, they're like ready to play game. Like, listen, man, I ain't go to school for all those years and bata all the way up to reach Yasa at the pinnacle and then turn around and say no. So anything you want me to do, me I go do it. So just tell me again. Where you say? You say anybody rich and wealthy and well connected, me must frig up them case and then twist it up and then go in a court and say, I have nothing further, Your Honor, and make them lose and make them walk out? Yes. Okay. And there's an agenda against a certain type. All right. And from them falling there, so me must broke my neck to make sure them go prison and stay. Okay. All right. Got it. That's got to be what it is. And I think that's what happens. You see enough people not aspiring for certain positions is because they kind of know what happens after they get that position. You know what I'm saying? The position there come with a whole lot of, how should I say it? Because I want to keep it clean this morning. That position comes with a whole lot of effing people over. Yeah? It's just who you're effing over kind of thing. And you're not effing over nobody that's well connected because the system likes to be connected to those who are well connected. So y'all got F over others. And they have a list of who gets F'd over and who gets to walk, regardless of whatever. I'm going to ask you again as my audience, and I want you to honestly look upon that question here and think about your answer. Name me one in all of Jamaica's judicial history. Name me one wealthy, well-connected Jamaican that was taken to court, found guilty, and is doing long time in prison. I'll wait. Because not one of them ever. So is it that all these wealthy people are never involved in anything? Because we've seen the stories over the years, to include the Kajil Mays story. That's a wealthy man that did a story on who he is. Some people was telling me, yo, SouFLo, you want to left that one day alone, you know? Yo, them man they them have a next name where them call him. Them man they come in like a wolf. You see me? Them man they come in like something in the night with us appear and them kind of thing. And them man the money extra long. So them man they step in and step out when them feel like it. And I was like, okay. So I went and did my digging. There's a whole lot of stuff out there. So wow, okay. Now I see why she threw the case with Kajil Mace. Now I see why. I not just say them something after nothing, my people. Trust me. We it's our responsibility to try to unveil certain things, because at the end of the day, all me want is for all of us to be treated equally under the law. That's all I want, for all of us to be treated equally under the law. That way, me know, say, if them call me up and them say, yes, him do this, the same things I speak about should apply, right? Where's the proof? And we don't want internet said, the streets are talking, word of mouth. We want facts, irrefutable facts. Give it to us in the form of DNA. Give it to us in the form of ballistics. Give it to us in the form of forensics. Them thing that. Give it to us in the form of electronics. We want recordings and videos and them kind of something there. Right? And that should apply to all of us. That way, no matter if you're broke, poor, lower class, nobody can come drag you away and take Miss Matty's son because Miss Matty can't afford no big lawyer and the youth sit on a prison for 20, 30 years. And him never do nothing. And it has happened to a lot of youth and it needs to stop. But with people like Paula Llewellyn in place, them things they're not gonna stop. You see how she's going after Isat Buchanan? I'm telling you, it's a real agenda. A real agenda. Steve Wright, big up yourself. Steve Wright says, only if caught in the USA doing wrong, SouFLo. Exactly. And then when them catch them in the USA and do it, everybody act like them surprised. Oh, wow. Really? They were doing the same thing in Jamaica, my friend. Only when the US catch them or some other government catch them is when they get caught. You know? Why? I don't know. It's just like how them whole heap of police there. I started thinking like this was, yo, shout out to the good squad them. You have some dunce one out there where take everything you say to a next level. So, oh yeah, class the whole away. Like I said, the whole away I want. Yeah, them have corrupted police, but it's just 1 and 2 here and there. Brother, me get up every day and go to work and do my work. I'm not talking about you. I say shout out to you every day if you're not involved in certain things. I appreciate you. I respect you. I respect the law. I'm a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. I respect you. I respect your service. I'm a lawman myself, right? So when I talk about you, I talk about the dirty, corrupted one, them will have the place frig up, and they're just trying to eat off of meat off the people, just the same way like vampires. Because them could make the system better, but they chose to. I feel like some of them to them going there and them feel like, yo, this is hopeless, so we might as well. Because we're not going to get nothing out of this, so we might as well. And they're not going to fix anything, so we might as well. So enough of them get basket to carry water and find themselves between a rock and a hard place. I'm not trying to excuse their corruption, I'm just saying. But it's like when we constantly keep finding them overseas and they got caught. And now it's front page news. But when we're complaining about them in Jamaica, the same Jamaican people them tell you about, nah, and your dirty friend them, and your gunman brethren them, and you're telling them like, yo, officer so corrupted, me I tell you say involved in drugs, and this and that. We don't want to hear that from you. The good police them will wake up every day to govern our land you talk about. No. You and your dirty friend them, so the normal citizen can't even complain against them. The same people them will then read the front page news and act like them surprised. Oh, he was caught in Atlanta airport smuggling cocaine into the US. Rotted. And them still no remember say, did I tell them about them same people there, you know? They go right back to, yes, but good police, them, man. It's only a few of them, man, and next week again, couple more get catch again. Oh, and then next week again, 6 were found to be members of some gang. And then next week again, one next gang. Some of them case here, some of them something I don't talk about. I'm telling you that before. Because one of them, the biggest one we me know about, has to do with gang and police officers being in gang and all that. All right, a Clarendon, which part me come from. So you see how them do League Gates TV the other day? Because the man talk about one double murder in our own vicinity. Yeah. So it gets dangerous for us just to unveil certain things, which is sad as hell. Ain't no American vlogger out here worried about who's going to do what to them because they vlogging. They just do their vlogs. Unless y'all do stuff like gangster stuff or, you know. But them do them blogs and them go about them business. We have to worry. We have to worry. But that's just how the thing go. I used to make fun of because I did too much for my patients, but I didn't care. Karen Notice says she used to get made fun of because she did too much for her patients, but she didn't care. Yeah, I tried to too. The patient I told you about, the tippy tie, I actually me go home. I went back in my books and I wrote out pen and paper a whole treatment plan for her. Now this is beyond my scope, okay? But I went and I wrote a whole treatment plan for her, strategies that her caretakers can implement to increase her independence, to help her to be more functional, as in helping herself, that kind of stuff. So I wrote out a good treatment plan and I gave it to her caretaker. I made copies of it. I gave one to the CNA that was, cause them not, when you not have good insurance or you don't have no insurance, you not see nurse and them something there unless them come drop you off a pill or something. You see the CNAs mostly. So CNAs that were working with her, they knew her because she was from that area. So even them were like, oh my God, like Keisha is not her name. I'm just throwing a name in there. Oh my God, Keisha, how you ended up in here? Oh man, girl. And they outside talking, girl, she can't even talk no more. Go in there and try to talk to her. She can't talk. She don't make no sense. So I have to educate them and tell them, hey, she has this condition. It's called aphasia. You have Broca's aphasia, you have Wernicke's aphasia. Her aphasia was blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And, educate those who are around her and then make a treatment plan, double copy it, give them one, and then give her people one who are coming to pick her up when she leaves the facility. All that was illegal for me to do. I wasn't supposed to do it. Wasn't supposed to do anything with her. Just watch her. Walk past and see her. Black good, yes, Black Goddess Henry. Down at my place it happened. So me stay far from certain things. When you see certain things happen and you hear people about, so how come you not cover this one here? You know, a hypocrite, can't talk about everything. It's because it's too close to home. Me have to be wise because me no have no big security. I'm not Andrew. I don't live on the hill with a 50-foot wall around my property and armed guards around at all times. Me walk road. Yeah. People run up on my foot all the time. So I gotta be careful about the stuff that I cover and what I say. You know what I mean? Karen noticed, did it help? I don't know if it helped, Karen, because I hadn't seen her after that. She left the facility and I didn't see her again after. So I don't know. I don't know if it helped. If they did implement what I put together, it would have helped. But you know how that go already. Caretakers get frustrated, them lose stuff where you get them. It's a rough thing. It's a rough thing. Julie Tapper says, facts. I overdo stuff for my patients too almost every day, and that's just me. And people like us, we are needed in that field. We're needed in the healthcare line of work. We're needed in there because you need people that have empathy. You need people that could look at others and be like, yo, this could be my mom. This could be my sister. Rotted. This could be me. And treat people accordingly. You know what I'm saying? You know, working out there, you meet some people and you're like, why the hell are you in this field? Why are you in this field? I've been to facilities already because I'm my patient's advocate also, right? By responsibility of the title. So when I go into certain facilities, I've been to facilities before where me just go lodge a complaint. Just go lodge a complaint and put all of them name in the complaint, and I'm their enemy for the rest of the contract that I'm there for. I went to one facility one time. I remember they're laughing after this one man. You know, CNA's in the hallways laughing. And I was like, I came down the hallway. I'm like, damn, why? What's so funny? Y'all share the joke. And they're like, nah, we ain't sharing no joke with you, blah, blah, blah. Every time I travel, I have the CNA team, them always find me extra attractive. I don't know why. But, oh, he's coming. You know, I don't know. So me hang around one day. I'm here. Pardon my language. I'm passing the door and I just itch up on the corner car around this, so them always there laugh. And I heard, man, you done shit your fucking self again? Doodle man, fucking doodle man. Hey, I mean, I throw a name in there. That's not her name. Hey, Keisha, come change doodle man. I'm tired of changing this motherfucker. And I saw them attack in front of the man, you know. And the patient had a condition that was a degenerative condition that his muscles were weakened and his muscles were progressively getting weaker. So he has gotten to the point now where he can't get up on time to carry himself. You know, when you feel like, oh my God, I need to poop. Thank God, so you can actually reach at the toilet and pull on your clothes and poop. In his condition is, oh my God, I need to poop. And you know, when your mind tells you so you can and you try, but you drop on the floor, or it take you forever to get there. So by the time him reach there, him do up himself on these things. So they started telling him, don't go, don't even try no more. Just shit yourself on the damn bed, I'll change you. And then them start calling him doodle man and shitty man, and me I hear it. So I'm like, I said, that day I was like, hey, could y'all come here for a second? And I pulled all of them into a circle and I said, is that the way y'all talk to him all the time? You know that's wrong, right? Them fly up in my face, right? What you gonna do? Snitch? You gonna snitch on us? You gonna tell on us? And then did that joke like it's funny. I was like, listen, I can't hear and see certain things and not report. I'll lose my license. By the way, I think it's wrong anyways, right? So it's not even about my license. It's just wrong. Why are y'all doing him like that? Man, that man be shitting his damn self all the time. I said, this is your job, though. You chose this job. And if you don't want to do this job, find another line of work. But you're dealing with people. They did it again. Them do it again. You see, the next day when them do it again, this time I looked at all of them. I said, it's like 4 of them. I'm reporting you. That's it. They're like, oh my God, he gonna snitch on us for real. He's gonna snitch on us for real. I'm not snitching. I'm telling because I warned you already. So I go and I made my report to HR. I told on them and I told everything. They made me write out one whole statement. I write out every rotted thing when me hear them say in there to the man and all that. I looked around. About 2 days later, I didn't see any of them at the place. I was like, oh shit. And the rest of them who stayed, them never want to talk to me no more. I usually have a good rapport with them. Hey girl, how you doing? Hey, you working with Miss Jones today? And they're like, yeah, I'm working with Miss Jones today. I'm about to go clean her up right now. I'll get her cleaned up right now. I said, good, because I got therapy with her right now. I could jump in with you, right? And I could do some transfer training and I could do some, lower body hygiene training or dressing training and whatever. And they're like, okay, come on, Sean, come help me, or come on, D, come help me. So I go over there and we'll work together, right? No more of that. After I report them for that and them get kicked out, they had already told the rest of them. So my whole rest of my 13 weeks on that contract was, hey girl, how you doing? Good morning. Me come in, come say good morning and get. So I said, oh, that's weird. Walk down the hallway to our next one. How you doing? I said, okay. By the second one is a conspiracy. Them not like me no more. All that. See? So now when I gotta ask them, hey, is Miss also going out today? Are you taking her out to? Because when the van come and them take them out outside facility for whatever reason. I don't know. You go look. You go look in the book. You go figure it out. Wow. Okay. But that's how that goes. And in that world, they need people like us. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't like somebody do that to you. You wouldn't like somebody do that to you. You wouldn't like to know that your mom is in a facility because of whatever reason, and that's how she's being treated. Because you're not gonna be able to fit that at 24/7, That's my way of sowing some good karma, some good seed of karma, hoping that karma remembers when my time comes that I wasn't that type. I was the type to really advocate for people. You know what I'm saying? I figured SouFlo when I heard you say didn't say anything about it. L.A. Lewis brave. He was in Mapen on live the next day. Well, good for him. Some people have nothing to lose. I don't know. Hey, I say that every day. But Mapen is not where it happened though. But around them place that's still. He's in the vicinity. It's dangerous. This is why I refuse to put my mom in a nursing home. Never. Yeah, because it does get terrible in some of these nursing homes. Some people, boy, I knew one particular Jamaican lady. Oh my God. I knew her for a while before she even got in. And when I graduated school and I went to go work in this facility, I'm proud of my little self because I graduated, and proud of my little self because these people came to me before I even graduated. When I was going through my internship, they were like, "We got a position for you right here. Can't wait for you to graduate. You're awesome." All this. I'm going there. I'm going to see this Jamaican lady. And when I saw her, she was different from how I saw her before, right? She had her legs amputated. And, stuff like that hit me hard because I'm starting to think like you're Jamaican through and through. But here you are stuck in a facility in the US with both your legs freshly amputated. And I know her daughter, and our daughter never come at the facility come see her, ever. And she's one of them people that never get no visit. I don't know what she do, our daughter. That's why I be telling y'all, like, I don't know if y'all think them kids are going to be little forever. And if you think that you're going to be the age you are now forever. But time is moving even when you're standing still. Time is moving even when you're sleeping. Another year and another year and another year. You see how many times I say to y'all, we made it through another week. Check it. A whole heap of weeks fly gone. We're in almost the end of the year already. Another year and another year. And I know what she do, our daughter. I don't know if the daughter was just being vindictive or just being how she is or what. Because some people do that. But knowing them personally before she even got to that, and then me now go work and end up in there so and seeing her. Boy, I remember going to her room one time and think smell in there, and I was asking the care team, like the nurses and stuff. I said, "What's that smell in so and so's room?" And they're like, "Oh, gangrene has set in." I said, "Gangrene in both of her amputation?" "Yes, in her residual limbs, gangrene has set in." I said, "So she's not gonna make it?" And they're like, "Yeah, I don't know. There's a slim chance. We've been working at it, but." So I said, "Where does her family come see her?" Because I've never seen anybody come visit her. And they're like, "Nope. Her daughter dropped her off here, but that was like a month ago or so, and we haven't seen her since." She talks on the phone. She's around here locally. Me know say she's around here locally. So some of the Jamaican people want to do something to a family member of foreign. You see, some of the Caribbean people. You do some stuff to your family members of foreign that you wouldn't do if you were in Jamaica because nobody would allow you to do it, to get away with it. But she dash her mother in there and she dip. Gone. And I don't know what happened to her mother's assets. Because her mom, I know that lady, she had a nice car, she had a nice house, she had a nice house in a nice community that I used to wish one day I hope I can live in a community like that. Yeah. Thank God, God bless me, I'm reach this. But to see her there was like, wow. And where's your daughter? Well, long time I don't see her. No, she busy. I think she busy. But so and so and so. So she talk. Kind of remind me of my own grandmother. And one morning I come to work. So in the process of seeing her like that, again, a next person I used to sneak away and go try to help when I'm not supposed to because she wasn't on therapy. And worse, she had Jamaican now, and me didn't know her before that. It endeared her to me so much. And to see like when everybody else I get them visits and them this, the woman just look in her face like so lonely, like she looked like me ready. She actually used to say, "I'm ready." Like me ready. I say, "You ready for what?" "Me ready to go. Me ready to go." Me think she thought about ready to go home, like left the facility. No, she ready to go meet our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. She ready to go. She ready for dead. I'm like, damn. So I would try to teach her like bed mobility. So, she not develop pressure ulcers and stuff, lay down on one spot too long, a whole other host of issues start to develop skin breakdown and all these other stuff. So I had something installed over her bed that would help her if I hold it and then move and turn herself and stuff like that. This is all I could do for her. All I could do for her. And one morning I came in and they're like, I never smell the stink smell no more when we go down the apartment. So I push the door. Therapy coming in. I didn't get no reply. So before we push the door, I got asked, is room so-and-so occupied? They're like, no, she's in there, but she's deceased. She passed away this morning. I don't know if this have something to do with my time in the military and things I've seen. I always do this. I open the door and go in and look at whoever passed away. I look on them for a while. I look at them close up. Right? Eyes open most of the time, mouth open. Like you could see the human body took its last breath. A mouth stuck like that. Yeah. CNA's got to clean them up and fix them up and then get them ready for the people them come pick them up. Right? And stuff like that. So, man, just sow good seeds of karma, man. Just sow good seeds of karma because this is human condition. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, none of us ain't escaping this. You either got dead young and tragic because nobody dead young and healthy and nothing. You're either dead young and tragic or you're dead old and the situation don't look too good. End of the day, we ain't leaving here alive. So while you here, try to do some good for others, and hopefully karma remembers you and remember say you did do good for others and try to do some good for you in your last days too. And that me say, because that's how the thing go. One day you're up, tomorrow you're down. That's how life go. We don't control this. I keep telling people we don't control this. I'm sure that woman never thought she would end up like that, you know? But it happens. That's life. Once you get them diagnosis that said you have this or you have that, it's a fight for your life from that point. And then to see someone gradually go down. You ever see people lose them here? We deal with cancer patients. I've seen people go down. I've seen people go down rapidly. I've seen people go all the way down, brink of death, and come all the way back up. Like, damn, if there ever was a miracle, me see it. That's why nobody can tell me nothing about no God. You can't go believe in what you want to believe in. Believe me if you believe in what I want to believe in. Nobody can tell me nothing about no God. No. I foolishness I talk. No go so. All right. You'll see. And you better have something to hold on to. When time life start kick and thump you for real here. Those of us who take this for granted, this thing we call life, take it for granted. Your day is coming, man. You're going to have a rude awakening. I'm not taking none of this for granted. Don't want nobody around me where I go waste my time, have me living unhappily, day to day, all this thing. You have to wake up every day. Deep breaths. Pull it in. Can you see when them find us out with their mouth open? Are you stuck so? Like you're shocked so you didn't take your last breath. That's it. You ain't coming back from that. And you can't go. So every chance me get, I'm thankful, I'm grateful. I try to be good to others much as I can. Try better yourself as much as you can, and try be good to people as much as you can. I don't know. That just went that way. So let's talk about this dude now. Shout out to Isat Buchanan. Continue being a strong warrior. You're needed. Just like how people with empathy are needed in the healthcare field, people like him are needed in law to go to bat for those who the system already have them at a disadvantage and ready to fling them, dash them, mash them up, right? It takes a lot to stand on that type of a courage and say, nah, I've studied law too, I'm qualified. Let's go. We could do this. So shout out to him for that. Now, moving on, our last story for the morning. This brother with them called Bamburry. I don't know if some of y'all might know him, but there was a star. I can't play the video, but I want you to go and just YouTube search Bamburry interview on Star or Jamaica Star. They have a YouTube channel. Is a brother who did a video, an interview. And I remember the first headlines that came out for Bamburry says, brother with college degree or university degree or something like that works as a car wash person. And I thought, and you know, a lot of people didn't even listen to his interview. They left comments like, well, I apply him now, apply himself good enough. And these kind of things. Me no want to read this a foolishness. Yeah. If you have your college degree, go find good job. I lazy, I'm lazy, and all this. I watched his interview back then, but when I heard he passed yesterday, I watched his interview again. And it meant something totally different when I watched it again yesterday. He spoke about brain draining in Jamaica, and he spoke about how many youths. Him say, "I know me alone, you know. Other youths around here too. Where you see, I do everything. Like them no want to take up no gun. Them no lazy, and them no want to get involved in no illegal activities. So anything them we do, me wash car, me cut people grass, me pick up, and me have my college degree. It takes a person. It takes a certain level of humbleness to be able to do that. You have your big college degree, how much years you go to school for, and then you out there cut grass because you can't find work. And he didn't only apply for work in the field that he went to school for, he applied for pretty much anything. You know what I mean? So his story ends in a way where this is a good way to show you how life deal with we, and you have to be ready, right? Listen to this. Man died doing his dream job. Dream job. He wanted to motivate the youths. Clarendon, Stevedore, Scott, Bamburry had big dreams to develop his rural Woodhall community in Clarendon. But he did not get to do that after dying while working on his dream job. This is life, okay? Last Saturday, shout out to the Jamaica Star for this, by the way. Last Saturday, scores of mourners gathered at the Shingle Hut New Testament Church of God in Woodhall to bid farewell to Bamburry, who died in July. He was featured in the Star in May 2021, working at a car wash in the community despite having a diploma in international shipping and logistics from the Caribbean Maritime University. He lamented that he spent years sending out several applications to jobs in his area of training with no luck. But after the story was published, he was hired as a stevedore at the Newport Stevedoring Services Limited, a subsidiary of Kingston Wharves Limited, or KWL. But in a cruel twist of fate, the company reported that Bamburry fell overboard while performing duties at the port of Kingston 2 days later. His body was fished from the Kingston harbor. Bamburry's brother said that the autopsy revealed that he had drowned. On Saturday, Bamburry, who was 38 years old, was eulogized as being humble, respectful, and hardworking. He was a member of the Woodhall Community Football Club, and Peter Reed, a club member, said that his death was a setback to the youth's development. He always said that he wanted to see Woodhall Football Club reach Premier League level. He played a great role in Woodhall. He inspired the youths them and let them know that there's hope. He visited us after he started working. That's his dream job, right? And said that he was going to take it from there. I'm so sorry that we lost him. The village has been set back. But we know that his spirit is around to see the rest of us, said Reed. Elisa Craig, Bamburry's childhood friend, shared that upliftment of Woodhall youth was the top of Bamburry's agenda. He said, I'm going to pull out some of the young people them in this area the same way I was pulled out. He has given a lot of these young men in Woodhall hope. Tamara Grant, another of Bamburry's friends, told the Star that she still harbors guilt over his tragic and untimely death, having chauffeured him to Portmore, St. Catherine, where he would stay and travel to work in Kingston. Maybe if me never did carry him, maybe if him did still up here, he would be okay. And she said that tearfully. When I heard about the interview he did with the Star, I was so happy for him because This is something that we had talked about. He wanted to get the job. And he was like, Tamara, me not worry, you know. Me just a wait till my time come. And me know it'll go come. Bamburry's girlfriend, Carmelita Shields, said that he was the best partner ever. The night when I got the call that he fell off the ship, I couldn't believe it. I was saying, please, Father God, don't let anything happen to him. And I was just hoping for the best, she said. Denise Samuels, the group human resource manager at KWL The Wharf, where he fell off at, told the Star that despite Bamburry's short tenure or his time there, he was awarded as an outstanding performer in April. He has been the art. He has seen. We have seen the article in the newspaper, and we invited him to come join us for an interview. He was so excited. In fact, when he showed up for the interview, he advised us that he was pretty much ready to begin working that very same day if they would get him to work that very same day. Now, this is a sad story. All the comments about this man, me go read them on IG and other places. If you know one time people are good people, nobody know nothing bad to say about you, that kind of stuff. That was it for him. It was no sir. Anybody else, but not you. Not you, youth. Wake up and come back. I lie this. We can't believe this. This can't not you. Of all the people who could have dead, I can't you. The good really die young. This can't be real. The man just get him breaking up. And if you go listen to his interview, if you look at him, you would think, and that's why again, it's important to not judge people. If you look upon him, you would think, say, I want dirty man, I want dirty madman, or I want dirty man where not really have nothing to go on for himself. The man having big qualifications and just opportunity lacking, and it's not like from lack of him trying. To the point where he make it all the way up a star, like, me have to do something. Me have to do something about this, fulfilling my dream. This is what I go school for. In the interview with the Star, he spoke about the brain draining in Jamaica and to see how unselfish he was. Because he spoke about all the other youths them that was around him that have them qualifications too. And he spoke about how we have to leave Jamaica, a lot of us, in order to excel, in order to find work in the field that we went to school in and the qualifications that we got. We have to left. Because either we find positions that are underserving, as in grossly underpaid, can't live off those wages, or you just can't find nothing and you have to go find something else do. It's disheartening to go to school, get a degree, after you done bust your brain and study and be punctual and do this and do that and sacrifice so much. Some people digging at them parents' life savings because your parents want to see you become something good. So then put them whole life savings out there for you. And you use the whole life and you get a degree and you can't pay them back. You can't say, mommy and daddy, me pay back off that something there for you or something, right? Yeah, he had the drive, BM. He had the drive, but the way how the thing ended up, a twist of fate. You get the job you always wanted, and you're dead on it shortly after. You know, last night when I was reading this article, I said to myself, crazy thing to say. I said, if him did there, Clarendon still a wash car, him would have be fine. He would still be alive. Yeah. But you know, life is not about how long you can live. It's about how much you can live. You understand? It's not about how long you can live. Some people, they are preserve themselves and they are till them are 80, 90, 100. And them never really live no life. They just so worried about living for a long time. You know, they didn't win anything big. They didn't accomplish anything big. I see people dead all the time in them 80s and 90s. It's like, when me want to live so long for, if me now build wealth to pass on to my children, to make sure my future generations are good. If I'm not, I just want to sit here and just breathe air for that long and suffer if me I suffer too for that long. Some people live and they might drop out 35, 40, 50. But if you check their life, they lived a full life. Like 100 years out of your life can't equal it. You would need another 100 to live because they lived. You know, Let's close this one this morning by saying stuff like this. Cliche stuff. You know, some people walk and walk in the rain and them complain, God, it a rain, me I get wet. Other people walk in the rain and they actually feel the rain. And it means something to them to feel the raindrops. You know what I'm saying? So that's, some people walk past flowers and they don't even look on the flowers them. They don't even take time to look that way there. Others pass and they like, man, those are beautiful. Look at the yellow ones with a little red thing in the middle. You know, look how the bees them are go around. I wonder must be sweet. It must have something like honey in there or something. People live. And that's what you're here to do. You're not here to just exist. You're here to live. Again, I'm going to close it by saying this. We don't control this. We don't control time. And life has a way of dealing with us that we just have to go deal with when life deal you the hand there. You know what I'm saying? All right. Be good. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Be real. Be honest. As best as you can. Try to be the best you that you can be. And with that said, we're going to leave it right there this morning. Manners and respect to each and every one of you. I appreciate you coming out again on another Morning Thoughts. And I'll catch you tomorrow morning right here. God spare my life. I'm out. Peace.